Morning and welcome to What's at Stake. I'm your host, Dr. Marsha Coleman Adebayo, and I am with you the fourth Wednesday of each month. We have a packed show, and you will not want to miss a second of it. We'll start with our first guest, Dr. Meir Schneider, the founder of the Center for Self-Help in San Francisco. Dr. Schneider, welcome.
Hey, nice to be with you. I haven't spoken with you for a long, long time. And it's true. It's the second time that I'm speaking to audience of WPFW this week, but I haven't spoken to people of WPFW for a long time.
Okay, we have to correct that in the future. I am so incredibly, as you know, impressed by your work, and I'm excited about sharing your work with our community. And if people would like to call in and ask Dr. Schneider a question, you can call our number at 202-588-0893. That's 202-588-0893. I'm going to ask you a forward question and come back to some background questions. As you know, Washington, D.C. is in the throes, has been essentially taken over by the military, and that has caused an incredible amount of anxiety in our community, concern about both police as well as National guards patrolling our neighborhoods. How do we address anxiety and depression when so many problems are out of our control?
You're asking such a great question, and I want to add something to your question. And that is, many people don't understand how anxiety affects the body. You know, basically, puts us under fight and flight mechanism. We become scared. And also, you know, having all these events in DC makes people not want to look at what happens to them, and that causes poor vision. It's amazing how much poor vision is a result of mental stress. And so there's a few ways to address it. First of all, we have to understand that happiness in life does not come from life, it comes from within. And so we need to find a way to relax, to exercise, to meditate, to breathe deeply, to feel that we are doing anything that we can do to get us in a better place. So, am I okay with my part? Fine. So it is so important for us to understand that we need to take care of ourselves, because you know, even when this anxiety will go away, another anxiety will come. I promise you, life will always bring problems. And so, for example, a great exercise that we teach people is one that you know, Marsha, and I would like you to repeat it a few times a day, and that is to rub your hands, to put your hands very, very gently around the eye orbits, lean with your elbows against the table, and visualize that you see complete darkness, even blackness, as if you sat in a cave during the day, not just when you go to sleep. And to breathe and focus on your breathing. Breathe very slowly, exhalation even slower than inhalation. And feel that you breathe all over your body. I mean, you only feel the upper body, but you can visualize that the rest of the body expands. And the point is to decide that you are more important than circumstances. That circumstances come and go, but you remain, both in body and in spirit. And the moment you treat yourself that way, no matter what the circumstances, you're going to feel good.
It's important because, you know, I've seen so many people in the movement who have poor health because, you know, they're so focused on helping others, and they're so focused on, fighting the good fight that they don't take care of themselves. And as a result of that, we, as the community, have them for a shorter period of time. And so, I think one of the messages that you're sending out today is how important it is, even when you're in the midst of fire, that you have to take care of yourself.
The fight is important, and your fights are very important. But the most important part, actually, is to accept the gift of life as the biggest gift there is. And to do anything we can do to feel better, more relaxed within us. When we don't do that, we are subject of circumstances more than the circumstances are. We are becoming these circumstances, except and not us. So, that's one of the reasons that I'm doing a basic training now in San Francisco. And we have all these hours. One of these days, I hope to have you there. We have all these hours to take care of our body, us, to take care of each other. Because, the problems in life will never go away. And I hope that you solve some of them, and there'll be others.
Right.
But we are precious. And I want to say something else. We have no idea how much it affects our vision. Because when you don't want to see something, you start to see poorly. And the worst thing that you can do is fix it with glasses, with contacts, or with surgery. The best thing you can do is to learn about the power that your body has. And it's the first time in 5 years, I've been in many, many countries, but it's the first time in 5 years that I'm coming back east. And I remember, and you were one of the people who helped me to be known in the DC area. You opened your house for me and my work, and it was very successful. We had a big group in your house, bigger than I imagined. And of course, you were one of the people who supported me coming to DC. Johnny Eisenberg helped a lot. Dr. Watkins helped a lot, and some latent people who were very famous in your community helped a lot too. And I was happy to come to DC and give people a good moment. But we have to work on ourselves moment by moment. So now I'm coming to Monsey, to a Hasidic community. There's one day for women, one day for men. There'll be workshops with which you can overcome back problems, joint problems, and eye problems. And don't think that glasses fix your eyes. Glasses get you to see better now, but they don't get you to have vitality in your eyes. And what we are learning is how to relax the eyes, adapt the eyes to different light frequencies, learn to look at details, increase our periphery, and balance use of the eyes. Looking at details is so important because a disease that medical profession can do nothing about these days, and we're talking about 8 billion people right now. We're not talking about 300 million people here alone, is macular degeneration. So many people suffer from loss of the most important part of the retina, which is the macula. And it comes because we stop looking at details. Kids are curious, they look at details. But adults eventually pay attention to contents. And, they look at pages in order to understand the contents in those pages. Well, that, with time, stops the most precious part, which is a small part in the macula, from looking. And what we teach people is that the macula is so small, it's just 1.5% of the total photoreceptors in the retina, the most important layer out of 10 in the retina itself. And we teach them to look at details one by one. By the way, I just want you to know something. I used to be almost completely blind. And I used to be a braille reader. I was, for a while, the quickest braille reader in the state of Israel. Even at 6th grade, I competed with, not intending to compete, but I read so many braille books, more than blind people who were in university. I was reading and reading and reading constantly. And these days, I read, write, and drive. I just renewed my driver's license. I'm already 71, and I'm driving from the age of 28. That felt to me like a Nobel Prize win. So I just want to say there is hope to everyone. And to tell you something else, I'm going to go ahead.
Well, no, I just wanted to get in. Yeah, thank you for that. I think it's important for people to know that you were considered blind as a child, and because of the methods that you have now communicated to the world, and that you've educated all of us about, you're driving, you're seeing. I know the first time I saw you walk into a room and you didn't have a stick and you didn't have a dog. I mean, you just walked, very confidently into the room. I mean, I was, it rocked my world. Let me ask you some very specific questions. And Michael, please communicate with me through chat if we have phone calls. And I just wanted the community to know that if you'd like to get in on this conversation, please call 202-588-0893. Let's talk about another condition that really impacts our community, which is, as you talked about cataracts and glaucoma. Are there ways that people can address these kinds of very important issues through natural healing or through
Absolutely. Let's understand something about glaucoma, which unfortunately is a silent condition that blinds many people in the world. It's 20% of the population considered to have all kinds of problems. Glaucoma is not high pressure in the eyes, as doctors are telling us. It is death of the optic nerve, basically. Now, high pressure is definitely a very important element of it, no question. But another important element is not having enough blood flow to the optic nerve. And that kills many of the nerve cells. And another problem is not having enough balanced use of the eyes. So we overload some parts of the eyes and not others. And in fact, in my class now, I have one glaucoma patient who started to have more and more for periphery and has better central vision as of yesterday. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that the first thing we need to work on is a loose neck. Well, how many people have loose neck? Pay attention that in the United States alone, there are 200,000 massage therapists. They go to supermarkets, airports, and others because people have such stiff neck. And we have wonderful exercises of isolating muscle groups and creating a situation where your neck becomes looser. So then much more blood comes to the head. Because when you have a situation that muscles are contracting all the time, they stop the blood from coming to the head. So, just when kids were playing with other kids and rubbing the forearms, and eventually you feel pins and needles in your hands, that's exactly what happens in our neck and our head. Another thing is we need to learn how to expand our periphery, because when you look at computers and at smartphones, and you probably saw a bunch of people walking in the sidewalk looking at the smartphone and not paying attention to anything else, which is crazy. We couldn't survive the jungle that way if we just 10,000 years ago. If you look at your smartphone in the jungle, you'd be eaten very quickly. So the point is, we completely functionally decreased our periphery. And with time, that destroys the optic nerve too. Mm-hmm. About cataract, we don't look enough at the distance these days. We don't hunt. We don't do what our ancestors used to do. So we don't look enough at the distance. And what we need to do as an exercise is to look at a distance at least 20 minutes a day. Could be in intervals of 5 minutes. And we can prevent cataracts from coming. And it comes to about 80% of the people worldwide, not just in the United States. And as I'm saying, those issues are not in one country. And we really need to learn to relax the lens, because see, when you look from near, And I can ask every audience, just put your hand on your nose and look at the lines of your hand. Just look at them. And then look at the distance. Look out of the window. And you can see that it's easier for the eyes to look at a distance than from near. And that's because those muscles, with time, become weak. You contract and you make a magnifying lens out of your lens. And your lens becomes round, convex. And when you look at a distance, your lens becomes flat. And our lens becomes too round, and then the cell starts to be crowded. And with age, as our lens ages, that crowding starts to be opacity of the lens. All the doctors do, they remove the lens. Sometimes you have no choice but just do that. But that could lead to many other complications. And they put another lens instead. But we need to look at distance. A real good example I can give you is different than what I was talking about. There was a kid who was born with cataract, to a father who was born with cataract. And he saw, after successful cataract surgeries, about 40% of normal vision. They decided to put implant in his eye. And he saw well until then, the age of 8. When they tried to put the implant in the eye, one eye became blind. They had 5 retinal detachments. The other eye he saw, but it had high pressure, so they gave him drops. And when he came and saw me 10 years later, when he was 18, the first time I could get him to see light in the eye that was completely blind. But that's all I could do. The other eye, we improved his vision to 80%, 2040. And now he's a lawyer in back east in New Jersey, and he's a driver and he drives. So we could make a lot of changes. We're talking about somebody who was born with cataract, like me and my kids.
Like you. Well, Amir, I think we have one caller on the line. Good morning. This is What's at Stake.
Are you speaking to me?
Yes, I am. Good morning. This is What's at Stake.
I have an issue. I'm with Kaiser Permanente, and I went to get an eye exam, and the doctor told me that she said that I have vessels behind my eyes that are, I guess they were like swelling, and she said that I will become blind real soon, and there's no cure for it. And I was concerned about it. I started doing different types of eye exercises. It's improved a little bit, but is that true that with those blood vessels that you would be permanently blind?
Did she offer you injections?
No.
It's definitely a possibility. I'll give you, though, a case that I saw lately. A lady who was a cancer survivor she had cancer in her face, and she's in her mid-80s, and she had membranes and bleeding in her retina, and the doctor said, "You're going to get blind." And she took my 6-day class, and that's the class that Marsha took years ago in San Francisco, but she took it in Tel Aviv when I was teaching a 6-day class there. And after the 6-day class, her eyes became totally normal, and the vessels have disappeared. Now, another thing happened to her. They wanted her inner lead. That's something that surprised me myself. And her inner lead deteriorated completely. We have the eyelids, you see the external eyelid, but there's an internal eyelid that has most of our muscles there. And the doctors wanted to take a graft out of the external lead in order to reconstruct the internal lead, and they weren't sure that it's going to work. And I just did with my eye exercises, not knowing where it would lead. And then the doctor who saw her, who was the head of the cosmetology of the biggest hospital in Israel, Department of Ophthalmology, so he's really the head of the department of those kind of surgeries, said there is no reason whatsoever now to do a surgery. And unlike many other doctors, when she told him what she did, he was very interested in my work, which surprised me. But because many times they're defensive and they don't want to know anything about other kinds of methods, but he did. So, and we're talking about a lady in her mid 80s. I believe that you should come to my workshop in Muncie, New York, because it's much closer than San Francisco. So come for the day and see me for a couple of individual sessions if you can. Just call us to our School for Self Healing in San Francisco. She's 415-665-9574, or look at our website at www.self-healing.org, or write to office manager at self-healing.org and find details about my upcoming workshop on the 14th of September for men, 15th of September for women. And you would benefit from it quite a bit. And I think that you should not accept that prognosis as imminent. Find all kinds of ways, not only mine, look at other alternatives, homeopathy, acupuncture, electric currents, any way you can. Don't simply accept medical prognosis as the final word.
Yeah. I think that is so important. Do you have another question, caller?
No, I just wrote the number down. I can call and get more information from this number, right? The 415-665-9574.
Correct. Or www.self-healing.org. And you can see the announcement on my workshop in Muncie.
Okay, you said that kind of fast. www.
self-healing.org.
Self, like SELF?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and then hyphen, and then healing, HEALING.org.
Yeah, thank you for saying it, Marsha, because not everybody understands my Israeli accent.
Thank you. Well, let me also ask you a question about another problem in our community, and it doesn't deal with eyes, but it certainly has an impact on eyes, which is hypertension and congestive heart disease. I mean, how do you, are there ways within the system of self-healing that people can address these very,
absolutely. I want to tell you that the thing that bothers me about hypertension is how quickly you get medication to reduce it. And that medication affects many internal organs in your body, unless you have a malignant hypertension, like 300 to 200, something of that nature. I think you should try and find ways with exercise, vitamins, and herbs to reduce your hypertension. So one of the most important thing is, especially now in midst of summer back east, anywhere back east, not only in DC, take at least 2 or 3 cold showers a day, and take a nice walk in a place you like. Hopefully not a sidewalk in the street. Like, find a park where you see beauty and you'd like to walk there. And when you walk, also move your arms up and down, not just your legs, to throw the blood to the periphery. And one nice exercise for everybody at home is just open and close your hands very gently, but do it for like a couple hundred times. It may be boring, so play some music or play WPFW. You also have some nice sections of music, but open and close the hands and feel how your fingers become warmer. And that is going to very much help you reduce the blood pressure. Now, you say you're not talking about the eyes, but there are many eye problems as a result of high blood pressure, like bleeding in the retina, because not enough blood gets into the retina. And there is no real medical solution to it except bring more blood to your head. So again, loosening up the neck, and many people in your station know about my book, Awakening Your Power of Self-Healing, that talks about that. And I'm going to have a new book, by the way, which is called Taking Back Your Back. Taking Back Your Back. That's what we're working on right now. And another thing is to massage your head, to separate the scalp from the scalp. Yeah, that's a very important.
Meir, I think we have two more callers on the line and we're running out of time. So let's take the first caller, Michael. Good morning. This is What's at Stake.
Good morning. How you doing? My name is Martin. Before watching.
Thank you for calling.
Yeah, diet is extremely important. I'm juicing a lot of organic fruits and vegetables, beet juice. Because I had high blood pressure once before, and I'm doing high doses of olive leaf extract. I'm doing a lot of watermelon. Yellow watermelon has a lot of carotene, vitamin C in it. I'm doing a lot of beans too, with raw garlic and olive oil, things like that. Sticking to mostly a vegan diet. Diet plays a heck of a role in overall health. And berries, all the blackberries, is really good for vision too. I just want to throw out.
I couldn't agree with you more. You have no idea how many beet soups I am cooking and how many how many carrot juice and orange juice I'm drinking. So, and the berries are very important. I couldn't agree with you more. It's very important to watch our diet.
My right eye was 20/40 and my left eye is 20/20. So now my right eye is 20/20. Both eyes are 20/20. So.
Wow, that's very impressive. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you for always for a long time.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Thank you. And I believe we have a second caller. We're running out of time. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I was wondering if you've seen any situations with lazy eyes and correcting that.
Absolutely. I mean, instead of calling it lazy eye, let's say an eye that was not preferred by the brain, because it's not the eye itself, it's the brain which is not using that eye. And it is so important to activate it. And, in medicine, they say it after the age of 8, sometimes they say 10, but normally they say 8, you can't fix it. Yes, you can. There are many exercises in my book, Vision for Life, that was in many of the fundraisers of this station, that can help you to overcome a lazy eye. The main thing is, I'll tell you one great exercise. I told you one great exercise in the beginning of the show, like rubbing your hands and putting your hands over the eye orbits and breathing deeply and visualizing complete darkness to let the eyes rest, but focusing on your breath, listening to some music or a nice story on an MP3. But then the other thing is, put a long paper, which is about 4 inches wide, from your forehead over your nose to your chin, and put a sticky tape, like a masking tape, to put it around, and take a ball and throw the ball from hand to hand. Follow the ball, and the lazy eye will have to start to work. But we have many, many exercises with red and green glasses, which are different kinds of filters that can work. But start with that simple exercise. Do it 5 minutes twice a day, and you'll see that the lazy eye is starting to work. Also, blocking the eye which is not lazy, or again, let's say again that the brain prefers, and starting to play ball with the eye the brain does not prefer. That's why I want to come to New York, to Spring Valley and Monsey area. Is the Hasidic community that invited me to go and teach there, and spend a day with me working on it, and then maybe have a session with me to learn how to do the work on yourself. We all, without even knowing, preferring one eye over the other. With some people, it's much more extreme. So as much as we can reduce it, the better it is. And the best story I can tell you, there was one lady who complained that one eye is legally blind. She sees 2,200 or 20% of normal, and one eye can only see colors. Well, first I sat with her mother and her, and she was able to all of a sudden see 2,100, which is 40%. But then we went to a dark room, we patched her strong eye, the one who saw 2200, the left eye, and we had light blinking, and she was able to see the color, but then she was able to see the lamp, and then she was able to see the people in that room. So I said, well, that's too good. So I took her outside to the trampoline, got her to bounce with a patch over her strong eye. We threw and caught balls, and all of a sudden we walked in the street, looked at signs, and the parents understood, and she understood, and she came to me all the way from Alberta, from a nice native reservation. They started to understand that it was a lazy eye that everybody thought was a blind eye. And she was starting to see with it, and her vision improved to about 40%, 80% of normal vision. That was amazing. So what I'm saying is, let's wake up what's latent in the brain.
Right.
Wow. Thank you so much, Meir, and thank you so much for your call. We've run out of time, but I wanted to just, thank you so much, Meir, for coming on again. We'll have you back on much sooner this time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in New York. Perhaps you can very, very, very quickly give our listeners the information about how they can contact you.
Right. So contact our website, www.self-healing.org, or office manager at self-healing.org, or call us at 415-665-9574, and I promise you we will return your call and give you the information.
Thank you so much, Meir. We'll talk soon, and I'll see you in New York very soon. So thank you very much.